You were not made to beg for belonging. You were made to walk with quiet power. Most people chase because they believe they are incomplete without the other person. But the Stoics knew something deeper. Marcus Aurelius never asked how to make others stay. He asked how to stay with himself. The Stoic path is not about proving your worth. It is about protecting your peace. This video is not about playing games. It is about remembering your value. When you stop chasing people who walk away, you start walking toward who you really are. This is what it means to be aligned with Stoic wisdom. To let go without bitterness. To detach without hate. And to walk forward without apology. If you have ever felt the urge to beg, to chase, to explain yourself just to keep someone in your life, then this is your call to stop. You were not made to crawl after attention. You were made to stand in silence and watch everything unworthy of you walk away. Stay with me. This might just change how you see yourself forever. Practice number 1. Never interrupt someone who is walking out of your life. A Stoic watches people leave the same way he watches the seasons change. Without clinging. Without complaining. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that nature flows, and what is not meant to stay will not. So when someone begins to drift, your job is not to chase. Your job is to stay rooted in your own values. What kind of tree would rip its own roots out just to follow the wind? That is what chasing is. A betrayal of your own center. The people who are meant to walk with you will not need to be begged. The ones who leave are giving you a gift. They are revealing that they do not have the depth to match your stillness. Let them go. Let their exit be your initiation. This is how you earn your peace. Not by forcing connection, but by staying unmoved in the face of disconnection. The Stoic does not beg for company. He becomes someone worth walking beside. Practice number 2. Stop rehearsing their opinion in your mind. Most people are not judging you. They are busy judging themselves. Yet you live like the whole world is watching, memorizing your flaws, waiting to laugh at your failures. Marcus Aurelius shattered that illusion. He reminded himself that it is not what people say, but how you interpret it, that wounds you. You can hear the harshest insult and remain untouched, or hear soft disapproval and feel destroyed. It is not their voice that controls you. It is your own echo of their voice, bouncing in your head. That echo becomes obsession. That obsession becomes anxiety. And that anxiety chains your self-worth to someone else's approval. But here is the truth. No one's opinion has power unless you assign it. A Stoic refuses to rehearse imaginary conversations. He does not waste time wondering what they meant or how they saw him. He cuts the loop. He speaks truth. He lives clearly. And then he lets go. The mind is not a courtroom for the judgment of others. It is a temple for reason, reflection, and peace. If someone disrespects you, they have already shown you who they are. You do not need to fight. You need to see. When you stop feeding your energy to imaginary critics, you start nourishing your own strength. You return home to yourself. You stop being an actor in someone else's mind and become the author of your own. That is how a Stoic walks. Not blind to opinion, but immune to its grip. Practice number 3. Live like you are already free. The Stoics believe that real freedom comes not from escaping the world, but from mastering yourself within it. Marcus Aurelius never begged for favor. He never chased applause. Because he knew that to chase is to be enslaved. When you pursue someone's approval, you make them your master. You hand over your peace, your clarity, your direction. And in return, you receive nothing that lasts. That is not love. That is dependence. That is not strength. That is surrender. Instead, Marcus reminded himself each day that everything he needed was already within. He trained his mind to want less, need less, and to be content with his own judgment. You must do the same. Stop believing that someone else's attention will complete you. Stop thinking that being chosen will validate you. You were already chosen. By life. By nature. By reason itself. Now act like it. Live without trying to impress. Speak without trying to be liked. Walk without looking back. When you do this, you will notice something strange. The less you chase, the more you attract. People are drawn to those who do not beg. They are magnetized by calm, quiet power. But by then, you will not even care. Because the real prize was never their attention. It was your liberation. And you earned it by remembering one truth. You do not need to be followed. You only need to be free. Practice number 4. Let them misunderstand you and keep walking. One of the greatest acts of inner strength is to let go of the need to be understood. Marcus Aurelius lived with betrayal, criticism, and even mockery, not because he lacked virtue but because people often choose their own illusions over the truth. You will face the same. People will call you arrogant for having boundaries, distant for valuing your peace, and selfish for choosing solitude over chaos. Let them. You do not owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. The Stoic path is not about being liked. It is about being aligned. When someone misunderstands your silence, your priorities, or your refusal to engage, you must let the misunderstanding stand. Correcting them would be an admission that their opinion has power over you. But it does not. The moment you start living for your own peace instead of their approval, your life begins to heal. Say nothing. Move forward. Let your actions define you. Walk your road with quiet certainty, and let the noise die behind you. Practice number 5. The Stoic walks alone first so he can lead later. One of the deepest truths in Stoic philosophy is that strength is not built in crowds. It is carved in solitude. Marcus Aurelius would rise early and write to himself not because anyone asked him to, but because the inner life demanded it. You must understand this. If you need the company of others to feel okay, you will never be free. If your actions are based on how they will be received, you will never be authentic. The Stoic does not chase people because he is too busy becoming someone worth knowing. While others network, he builds. While others socialize, he sharpens. It is not that he despises connection. It is that he knows his value does not come from it. You must be willing to walk alone. Not because you are arrogant, but because the path to your highest self is narrow. And most people are too distracted, too insecure, or too afraid to walk it. Let them laugh. Let them gossip. Let them misunderstand. Your task is not to convert the world to your vision. Your task is to live it so clearly that those who are ready will find their way to you. The Stoic trains in silence. His approval comes from alignment with virtue, not applause from the crowd. When you walk alone with purpose, you do not lose people. You lose distractions. And those who are meant to walk beside you will catch up, not because you chased them, but because your stillness reminded them of their own. There is no need to shout your truth. Just live it. Let the results echo louder than any explanation. This is why the Stoic refuses to chase. He is not avoiding people. He is preparing to lead them. Practice number 6. The one who needs nothing cannot be controlled. You chase people because you believe they can give you something you lack. Their validation. Their affection. Their attention. But Marcus Aurelius taught that the wise man carries everything he needs within himself. He wrote that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Not the quality of their praise. Not the consistency of their love. Not even the fairness of their treatment. When you stop chasing, you stop needing. And when you stop needing, you start leading. Most people live like beggars in their own minds, begging for scraps of attention, chasing after someone who once noticed them. That is not love. That is dependence disguised as desire. You must understand something deeper. People are drawn to what they cannot shake. And nothing is more unshakable than someone who is rooted, someone who is centered, someone who does not flinch when affection is withdrawn. The Stoic does not chase because the Stoic is full. And if he gives freely. Not because he must, but because it aligns with his principles. Silence is his response to drama. Indifference is his answer to tests. Stillness is his power. If you truly want someone to see your worth, stop showing it. Start embodying it. Let them experience the void your absence creates. That is when the chase ends. That is when the magnetism begins. Practice number 7. The Stoic chooses self-respect over temporary closeness. There comes a moment in every Stoic's journey when the silence of being alone is less painful than the noise of being with people who do not truly see him. Marcus Aurelius never wrote to win hearts. He wrote to strengthen his own. That is the path you must walk. When someone disrespects your boundaries, your silence must be louder than their ego. When they take your kindness for granted, you do not beg. You step back. Not to punish them, but to protect the standard you have set for your life. The Stoic does not keep people around just because they once mattered. He observes them. Not their words, but their consistency. Not their apologies, but their patterns. You must learn to choose peace over presence. Just because someone is near you does not mean they nourish you. Let go of the idea that losing someone means losing a part of yourself. The truth is, if their absence brings you peace, their presence was the problem. You owe no one constant access to you. Especially those who show you they cannot handle the weight of your honesty, your values, or your vision. The Stoic walks away not because he is cold, but because he has learned warmth cannot be forced. He does not chase. He does not cling. He observes, accepts, and adapts. This is not bitterness. It is clarity. You must hold your own hand when no one else does. You must sit in the discomfort of solitude long enough to realize it's not loneliness. It's self-respect. And when you begin to honor that silence, you will see clearly who truly belongs in your life. Most people will test your boundaries, but the ones who value you will never make you enforce them. They will walk beside you, not because you begged them to stay, but because you had the courage to walk alone first. Practice number 8. A Stoic knows when presence is power and absence is freedom. Not every absence is a loss. Not every silence is an insult. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is remove yourself from the chaos that keeps you small. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that retreating into oneself, even for a short time, can renew strength. But this retreat is not weakness. It is a strategy. The Stoic understands that walking away isn't always about finality. It is about clarity. When you stop explaining, stop justifying, stop begging to be seen, you shift the balance. You take back control of your energy. The ones who truly value you will feel your absence like a lesson. The ones who never did will replace you like an option. And that's where peace is found. In realizing that your worth does not diminish when someone fails to see it. It stays, unmoved, like a pillar. When you choose to leave situations, spaces, or people that drain you, you do not lose. You return to yourself. And in that return, there is power. You were not born to chase approval. You were born to move with purpose. The Stoics didn't beg for attention. They didn't cling to those who left. They stood where they were, grounded, rooted in reason, led by values. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire yet still reminded himself daily to walk lightly through life, needing nothing outside his soul. If this message spoke to something deep inside you, I ask one favor. Subscribe to this channel. That's how we reach more people who are trying to walk this path with courage and calm. Your one click helps spread ancient wisdom in a modern world that desperately needs it. Thank you for being here. Stay stoic and build your stoic legacy.